live, sir.
What?
Okay.
Select. Stop. Yes. Come. Bear with me 1 second, Israel. Bear with me. All right, Shalom, Israel, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, Thumb Yahweh Shema, Thumb Bashim Yahshua. I am priest and officer of 5,000 Yedaya, holding it down till 12 Shield General Muhammad gets here. And Muhammad will be in the building. Understand something, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. We are currently in the Feast of Hanukkah. Let me tell you why the Feast of Hanukkah is important, man, for us to observe and what's the true significance behind it, man. You had righteous brothers, man, and Mattathias and his sons, man, that stood, you know what I mean, on the Most High, that stood on these laws, statutes, and commandments. In the world of Thumb, y'all, I know y'all young brothers are like, oh, we stand on business. We stand on business. Let me tell you what standing on business really is, man. Not succumbing, you know what I mean, to the evil of this world. Not following after the oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. O hombre blanco es el diablo. And we just recently got out, you know what I mean, from headquarters. Big shout out to, you know what I mean, Commander General Yohanna. Big shout out to all the General Kathumgabar put together the whole thing, man. We went out there to feed, you know what I mean, our Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters, tribe of I.S.U.P.K, tribe of Zebulon, tribe of Asher, you know what I mean, that's out there suffering at the hands of the oppressor. Nobody wants to look out for our people. Nobody does. And that's why we have to come together. If I could, Barzo, give me Romans 13 and 11. Sweat. Get Romans 13 and verse 11. Well, for sure. Y'all got any questions, type them in. You know what I mean? John Muhammad will be here shortly. But let me get Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. Bubba for sure.
Romans. The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep.
Listen, man, now is the time to awake out of sleep. Now is the time for us to realize, man, that the oppressor does not have our best interests at mind. Neither of these heathens do. Now is the time to realize who our true enemies are. That the enemy of Israel, the true enemy of blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians is these other nations, man. They want to keep us in perpetual sin. They don't want us to observe our feast days, man, like our Hanukkah, like Purim, our high holy days, man, Passover coming up. They don't want us to do that. That's why it's important for us to realize that now it is high time to awake out of what?
Out of sleep.
To awake out of sleep. Everybody claims to be woke. Everybody claims to be so woke. But you know what everybody's getting ready to do, Karam Yalla? Everybody's getting ready to celebrate Christmas. They're getting ready to celebrate Saturnalia. And you don't even understand, like, Christmas' true pagan origins, man. We're going to go into it. We're going to go right into it. But that's why we got to wake out of sleep. You think Christmas is too wild. We thought Thanksgiving was cool. We think New Year's is cool. No. Now it's time for us to wake up, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. Read.
God. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Now is our salvation nearer than what we believe. Now is our salvation nearer than what we believe, man. Guess what? Salvation is only for the children of Israel. It's only for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. That's who salvation is for. Salvation ain't for nobody else. You got to plug the charger. Yeah, you swab after that. Understand that salvation is not for everybody. Salvation is only for our people. Everybody's so worried about the Ukrainian. Everybody's worried about the Palestinian. Everybody's worried about the oppressor that calls himself a Jew. But what about us? What about that Black man and woman? What about that Latino man and woman? That's what we need to worry about. That's what we need to worry about. That's who our focus should be on. Our focus should be on Israel, on Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, because we are God's chosen people, and we are the true Jews of antiquity. We're the real Jews of antiquity. And that's why it's important to realize our identity and how glorious it is. Karam, y'all, give me Romans 3:1. I think our people don't understand that, man. Like, you don't understand. Don't let nobody tell you, you know what I mean, that it doesn't matter, you know what I mean, what our customs are, or what matters and the benefit of being a Jew. Because I'm going to show it to you. Being a Jew is everything. And the oppressor that calls himself a Jew is not a Jew, but the devil that the Bible speaks of. Like, I'm offended, Thamayomni, he calls himself a Maccabee. Like, you don't realize you the ones that we was fighting against. You're the Macedonian. You're the Greek. You're the Roman. You're the oppressor who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Right. You're the one that our forefathers was fighting against, man. That has had a perpetual hatred against us, man. You don't even know it, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, that they're not a Jew, but we are. But let me show you the benefit of being a Jew and how important it is for us to know who we are. Let me get that. Romans chapter 3 and verse 1.
Romans chapter 3, verse 1. What advantage then are the Jews?
What advantage then have the Jew? What advantage do you have knowing Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman? Go ahead.
Oh, what profit is there of circumcision?
Listen, what profit is there of circumcision? You got to realize, understand something. We were circumcised unto the Lord. We're the ones that our God chose. We're the ones that he chose. The Lord said if he chose anybody else, they'd be serving him right now. We're the ones that the Lord chose. We're the ones, you know what I mean, that is that stiff-necked Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. I went over it, thumb yard, man, like the Lord said if he chose anybody else, they'd be serving him right now. Listen, what profit is there of circumcision? What profit is there of realizing, man, that Christmas is wrong, Thanksgiving is wrong? We got to keep the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That we have a glorious custom, that we have a glory. I mean, that we have something that these other nations are truly envious about. Keep going.
Much in every way, chiefly.
Much in every way, chiefly. That's the benefit of being a Jew. Much every way, chiefly. It's everything. Don't let nobody tell you that it doesn't matter. They don't even know what a Jew is, Barzo. Them brothers in Florida, man. I was looking at a video, man. Y'all was out there. Y'all had the little Amalek girls confounded. Talking about we Jews. Thamayom was like, I'm a Jew, no ish. They was looking like, huh? What? And they not stupid, Akim. They not stupid. A lot of them know we're the real Jews. Talking about Yiddish was the first language. Yiddish is a dialect of the oppressor. I believe it originates from Germany. Come on now. You don't even know the Lashawan Quadash. And they be on the TikTok all the time with them, y'all. Y'all niggas don't even know Hebrew. Oh, we know the Hebrew. We know the Holy Tongue, the Lashawan Quadash. We know that Yiddish too. We know that. We know how to call. We know you the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. You're not a Jew. We're the real Jew. Much, every way, chiefly. That's how you know. That's how you know, man. It is important to know who we are. Do not fall for the okie doke. Do not let the oppressor, you know what I mean, have you think, you know what I mean, that he could walk around and call himself a Jew, you know what I mean, with no pushback. He's not a Jew. He is not. Keep going, Karam.
Because that unto them.
No, Romans 3 and 2 again from the top. From the top, Baba
Three and
Kashal.
one.
3 and 2.
Sorry.
You good?
For what if some didn't believe?
Oh, you had Romans 3 and 2? Much every way chiefly?
That's 3 and 1.
Oh, no,
That's
no.
the middle of 3 and 1.
So that's 3 and 1 is what advantage to that the Jew. Read it again. Romans 3 and 2.
Romans chapter 3, verse 4. What advantage then had the Jew?
Mm-hmm.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Good, Lord Christ.
Much, every way, chiefly,
Mm-hmm.
because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
What are the oracles of God? With some y'all?
Keeping up.
Yeah. That's the oracles of God. Everybody wasn't given that. Don't let them tell you, oh, God loves everybody. Most High is for humanity. That's what they try to say. Christians are going to try to trick you up. They're going to pull that John 3:16. They're going to pull, that was that precept in Matthew 28. I believe it's 28 and 19, where it says, Christ said, go teach all nations. They go pull precepts like that, thumb our young, and be like, you see? Not having no idea that we were scattered abroad. Scattered all throughout the earth because we disobeyed our God. You got Jews, you know what I mean, over there in Galatia right now. You got Jews over there, you know what I mean, in Russia. Listen, man, let me tell you something. I'll never forget, young, that when Putin, the real Putin was dropping bombs on the Ukraine, them Ukrainians did not want to let them Black and Latino men and women on those trains to get the hell out of there. They got bombs being dropped on them, bars all Rakah, and still got time to oppress God's chosen people. Listen, being a Jew is everything. And knowing that we were given the oracles of God, knowing that we have commandments to keep, knowing that we have a dietary law. They tried to trip Mattathias up with that. They came to Mattathias, man, and told Mattathias, well, you're an honorable man. You know what I mean? Why don't you should come and be the first to fulfill the king's commandment. They wanted him to sell out. That's what they wanted him to do. You can't sell out. Understanding that we were given these oracles of God, that we was given these commandments, you can't sell out. And then again, what you selling out for? Scriptures say this. Oh, you know that precept where it says, what profit a man if he gain the whole world? Baba Kushar. That's what. They get that, and with some y'all, read Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Go to Jeremiah 10 and 1, Baba Kushar. You go hold what you got, Thamaya. I'm gonna get to it. Let me get Jeremiah 10 and 1 with Thamaya.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
O house of who?
Israel.
O house of Israel.
Israel.
That is who the Lord is talking to. He's only dealing with Israel. He's only dealing with Israelites. Do not get it confused. Do not have them try to trip you up that God is for all humanity. That's a lie, Karam Yallah. They need to stop pushing. That's a lie that your pastor pushes. That's a lie that your imam pushes. That's your fake Israelites that masquerade in the purple, as feminine as they can be. That's what they push. No, God is only dealing with the children of Israel. Read.
Oh God, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the heathens. Who we? Meaning, don't do what the heathen do. Don't learn their ways. A lot of you are going to get together and give your hard-earned money that you got from slaving from the oppressor, you know what I mean, to buy those badass kids gifts that they don't deserve anyway. You letting the oppressor dictate, you know what I mean, to you who and how and what's a good parent. You know what I mean? If you go out there and get a tree and get gifts, you know what I mean, what you really doing is an old Babylonian custom, which is paganism. They be on TikTok, my family, I talking about, yeah, that's the star Molech. This is Molech, that's Baal. Not realizing that you're going to have a Christmas tree. You're going to go out there and buy gifts and then give the glory to the oppressor and lie to our babies. Lying to the kids. Allah Wapaya. Barak. Yahweh
Get it on, Akim. Rock it out. What night of Hanukkah is this? 7th? Not the 7th yet, right? What night is it? 6th night? Do you know what night it is of Hanukkah? Say again?
5th night.
5th night. So what? 5th night of Hanukkah, getting it on. All right, I'll answer your question. You got a Hanukkah question, I can answer that. I can answer your questions about the congressional hearing that happened this week with the, I think, 5 major Ivy League colleges. Their presidents were brought to the Congress to make sure that there is no hate speech at the universities of the 5 major Ivy League schools. We can talk about Charleston White. Charleston White got in a big fight I know you care about. We'll go into that. We'll talk about everything that's on your mind, all of your problems, answer all your questions. Let's get it on. We ready? You die or not? Can I go live yet? I got banned from last week for saying the opposite word of assault. How long did I have?
I think you should be.
Okay, let me. I'll check it out real fast. I'm ready to rock. Is the menorah messing anyone's vision up? Okay, go ahead.
My brother said, Salakia in general, in Exodus 33:20, when the Lord said, no man can see me and live, is it because he's so powerful that a man will die just by being in his presence?
Absolutely. That's what it means. Meaning flesh and blood cannot actually see the Most High because of his omnipotent power. Moses saw his hinder part, saw the back of him. And because Moses saw the back of him, for the rest of his life, his face glowed because he saw the back of the Most High. So that's correct. No one can see him and live because flesh and blood cannot handle his presence because he's that powerful. Correct. Next.
Khan. Brother said, is it unlawful for a woman to take exposing lipo pictures to show her body transformation and post social media and post on social media as inspiration?
You gotta say it one more time.
Oh, I feel like he's asking, is it unlawful for a woman who gets liposuctions and it takes pictures of her body post and before?
Like before and after pictures, right? Well, it depends upon the picture, right? There's a picture that you can take. If you want to show some extreme weight loss you've had, that's no sin. But of course, what matters is the picture, right? There's a picture that's absolutely lawful. A woman can just show she lost weight. There's a picture that is too lewd, a picture that's inappropriate. Now, many times a woman does not know what is inappropriate because many times your mothers were whores. And because your mothers were whores, you don't really know what it is what appropriate dress is, or what's appropriate for a woman to wear in public, because your woman was so promiscuous, which is why you and all your brothers and sisters all look differently. You know that, right? That's why you and your brothers and sisters all have different faces, because your mother had sex with so many men, and she doesn't know what appropriate dress is. Your mother was molested as a child, and she raised you, and she was basically a child when she raised you. So you can't really go by what you believe inappropriate or appropriate dress is online because you don't know what that is. So what you should do is ask your camp leader in the Israelite school of UPK. He's been trained to know what appropriate is and what inappropriate is when it comes to a woman's attire. Next. Y'all have some scotch here tonight. I'll take a little bit of that. No rush though. Anytime you're ready. Go ahead. Oh, I appreciate you, man.
I filled it up.
No problem. I'll do something with it. Go ahead.
She said she had a question that Joel wanted one. What does it mean when it says the Lord shall bring the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem again in this verse? Isn't this the coming of the Lord?
Absolutely. Bring again the captivity means to remember it. The same way Jewish people, they've been saying for about 50 years, never forget. That's a phrase of the so-called Jewish person. Never forget, meaning never forget the Holocaust. Never forget. Well, our oppression has been forgotten. No one cares about it. I'm going to bring that out tonight. The main reason that you can never free Palestine, the main reason you can never free the oppressed peoples of this world is because America has shown every oppressive country that oppression works. You're not going to get the Israelis to leave Palestine when you have America sitting here, the greatest country on earth, who oppressed the North American Indians, who oppressed the so-called Negroes, and who oppressed the so-called Hispanics, and became the #1 country on the planet. Now, what are you telling Israel? That oppression doesn't work? You saying you shouldn't put people in slavery? You shouldn't unalive people? You shouldn't rape them? Nah, man. America is proof that oppression works. Our oppression has just been forgotten. We're not rebelling. We're not in the streets, going to war with our captor. We have taken our position as third-class citizens, and we accept it, and our oppressor has thrived. So yeah, upstairs for what? Our oppression has been forgotten. What did the Most High God say? He is going to bring it again. I know you would like to forget about it. He will not. He's going to bring it back up. You understand? Never forget slavery. Never forget the Spanish conquistadors. Never forget the oppression of the North American Indian. The Most High is going to bring it back up. Everyone understands. Next. Please. Let me get one from the room, please.
If I could, is that Joel 1:1?
Come online.
No, sir. Brother wanted to break down a general breakdown of Matthew chapter 12 and verse 36.
Charlotte, go ahead. Also, too, if I go on my TikTok here, right, then I'm not talking to the people that are on yours. This is a whole different crew of people. Is that right?
We can set it up. We can go live.
That'd be good, because I just wanted to, shout out the people on there, on yours, really. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. You can ask the question now.
Brother wanted a general breakdown of Matthew chapter 12 and verse 36.
I'm still prohibited. I'm still jammed up. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Please.
So you want me to read the scripture?
Please. For what?
The book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 36. But I say unto you
For what?
that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
The word idol, many of you have heard that word before, like idol worshiping, correct? The word idol means nothing. The reason that Allah and the Catholic idols are called idols are because they're stone statues. Allah is a black rock in Mecca. The Catholic gods are stone statues of Mary and Jesus, who are not actually depictions of Mary or Jesus. The gods of the other nation are nothing. That's in the New Testament, right? The word nothing means idol. It's the same word, right? Christ is saying men shall be judged for every word that they say, even the words that meant nothing to you. You're going to be judged for that, right? The things that come out of your mouth, those things you're going to answer for on the day of judgment. That is a different culture than we all grow up in. We all grow up in a culture where you say whatever you feel. We call it freedom, when in actuality, it's abuse. It's abuse to say whatever you want to say to your child. That's abuse to call your child all types of racial epithets and to say how unattractive your child is or how ugly your child is because they look like their father. Or to speak about your children the way you speak about your children, but yet you still love them. I know you love your children. You just call them no good, dirty niggers and call them bitches and say they're ugly because they look like their father, but you love them. Now, why am I saying something that people have never heard before? Raise your hand if you do not know what I just said just now. If you're unfamiliar with it, raise your hand. All right, good. So now we all know, right? We all know that is how blacks and Latinos speak to their children. Now, yet we believe we love our children. Why? Because we believe we just said that because we were mad. We just said that because of something they did. We believe that those evil things that we say really don't indicate who we are as a person. They don't indicate our hearts. Because really, I love my son. Yeah, I said he ain't never gonna be shit because his father wasn't shit, and my daughter is a dirty piece of garbage, and my daughter is nothing but a nasty bee, and she wants to sleep with my man. I know I said that to her, but I love my daughter. The problem is you don't actually know what love is, and if you loved your child, you would discipline your mouth for your child. That's the least that you could do. You are going to be judged for every idle word you say, the things you say that meant nothing to you. You're going to answer for those things on Judgment Day. What are some other things that people say? Speak against the disciples of Christ in the Israelite school of UPK under commanding General Yahanna. We're the only ones helping you. If you don't know that, come and see. Come and see. To speak against us, you're going to pay for that on Judgment Day. I know it meant nothing to you. I know you were just mad. I know you were just upset because we came against your Jesus. Or we came against your Christmas. Or we came against your Thanksgiving. I know to you it really meant nothing. You're going to pay for it on Judgment Day. Anything else? Next.
So like sister wanted to break down Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5, specifically where it says, "Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee." Is this a reincarnation precept, sir?
It's absolutely a reincarnation precept, and it's about something more in context, right? Let me give you the context. This is speaking about the prophet Jeremiah. The prophet Jeremiah did not believe that he was fit to be a prophet. He thought he was too young. He thought he couldn't do it. He thought he could not come against the leaders of his people who were wicked and cruel and now should not be leaders of his people anymore. He thought he couldn't do it. So the Most High came to him in a dream and said, "Before I formed thee in thy mother's womb, I knew you." Meaning, you think you know yourself. You think you know what you're capable of. You don't know yourself. The Most High God knows you, and he knows that you are up to task. He knows you're capable of doing something great. You think that you can't do anything great. Why? Because of the things that your mother said to you, because of the foster care system, because of your past, because of your drug problem, because of your substance abuse. You think you know your capabilities, and you think that you're capable of not very much. Right? You don't think that you really can do anything at all. But I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. The context is he knows you better. And if he gives you a job to do it, please believe you're up to it. Otherwise, he would not have given you the job. That's the context. Everyone understands, right? But absolutely, he knows you because you've been around and you've been a prophet before. And you served men of God before, and you were a man of God before. Everybody understands. Sister, 1 second. Sister. Shalom.
We were talking about, you just mentioned how they speak against you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally went to the tribe, clothing tribe, food tribe in New York.
Most time Christ.
I went by
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, the concept of like being connected together, being connected together without listening. So it's done fighting. So I was like, oh, contradicting your beliefs. Color, where? Guns, where? Smoking, where? Discipline.
Damn right.
So it's like my Bible, like my phone had been reading. I'm like, okay, you don't. They're like, is this for real? Or it was a bunch of cops out there, so I had to. I had to go live again. It was like, show it's like literally 3 cop cars, like, and it was like 4 cops out there. So no, it was like, and you felt comfortable. I said, I'm way comfortable. So it was like. So, but people, is this real or you just post? I think no, this is from the beginning. I streamed the march up to the site. I streamed the march back, and like literally, I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. And I got a phone call. Is that was that real? Was they? I was like, no, this is real. This is all the time. I said, I had to show you guys what I see all the time. So yeah, they was like, yeah. Contradicted to your belief. Oh, where? Like anything, so I can see it. Because every time I said came to the schools, and
Mhm.
y'all be like, oh, you part of that cult. Yeah.
You're right. Well said, sis. Well said. Well, let me tell you that's why Commanding General Yohanna commends every sister that joins the I.S.U.P.K. We know it's very difficult to, especially to be a woman. It's difficult to be a man and join this school because people in the world are so afraid of us. And it's different than the Nation of Islam or fake Israelite groups who people consider basically, church people, religious people that they're not afraid of. But people are very afraid of us, and that's always been that way. All right. And so for a man to join us, we know he has to have great courage. And we absolutely know that for a woman to come into the Israelite School of UPK, you are no coward. Well done, sister. Give her a hand. Go ahead.
Today, I was happily able to explain to one of my coworkers who work in the office. A sister, she knows that we Israelites and things like that. She knows about the I.S.U.P.K. And she was like, y'all the ones that was outside the gallery. I was like, yeah, that's us. And she was like, yeah, they call y'all radical. I said, well, we are extreme for our people. The thing is, we don't commit crimes. We tell the truth. So when y'all out here, us outside, screaming on that microphone, we ain't Christians, we ain't everybody do love. No, we want to tell you the truth. I said, everything that we say is the truth, is the solution to our problems. We the only ones that's going up to the white man telling them, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. I said, only people, especially in my generation, they never seen revolutions. Yeah. They don't see it now. If it ain't the I.S.U.P.K, it's some weak brother on social media. You understand? Thinking that he's a teacher and start something. When in the I.S.U.P.K, we don't just talk it, we live it the same way the men of the Bible lived it. We have diets. We up here celebrating Christian dedication. We have diets. Had to unalive a brother because of his colleagues.
Damn right. Give him a hand. Well said. Well said, warrior. Damn right. We done with that? Was that a question? Go ahead.
Brother said, Sean, on Matthew 5:8, what does it mean to see God? See God in Matthew 5:8.
Go ahead.
You said Matthew 5:8?
Okay.
This is the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
What does it mean to be pure in heart? To be pure in heart means that you don't have a hidden agenda. You're not someone that is saying one thing and doing another. A hypocrite has an impure heart. Right. The religious leaders, they're hypocrites. Their hearts are not pure. The word heart in the Bible is speaking about your mind. Right. A preacher is telling you in church that, he loves Jesus and he wants you to find Jesus and he loves Jesus, when in actuality, he wants to molest your child. He wants your money. He wants another jet or a Rolls Royce. He has an impure heart. His mind is focused on lust and not the gain of other people. But if you have a pure heart, you shall see God. What does it mean to see God? Now, we already know that you can't actually see God because you'll die from seeing God. Officer.
So like, being able to see the Most High, being able to see the truth, to understand the knowledge and wisdom that he gave to the nation of Israel.
It's a little more, but you're right. But it's a little, seeing God is not just understanding the truth. It's a little different than that, to see God. What precepts do you need for this first? Let's start with that. What did Jesus Christ say? Whosoever hath seen me hath seen the Father. That's the precept that you need. Seeing God is different than reading the Bible and understanding the Bible. That's a beautiful thing, and it's a gift that the Most High God has to give you. But seeing God is different. You want to think about the term seeing is believing? Like that term? Like seeing God is when the Bible comes off the pages. When the words are no longer on the pages, but the words in the Bible are in front of you. That's seeing God. Seeing God is seeing God's action take place in front of you. That's seeing God, which is why Jesus Christ said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Meaning what? Jesus Christ is not God. And if he was God, matter of fact, let me not give you the answer. How do you know for a fact, if you have just been in class today, that there is no way that Jesus Christ could have been God? All you would have had to have been is in class today. It's impossible for Jesus Christ to be God. Let someone online give them a shot, unless the officers and sisters in here know the answer already. You don't remember, huh? I'm the only one drinking. I got the best memory in here. It happened today in this class, officer. It happened today. Right? We only been here about a half an hour. I have, right? A half an hour. It happened today. If you understand the precept that I just gave it to you by saying that, I think, that we brought out in here today, there is no way that Farad Muhammad could have been God. We're in Philadelphia, so I know you know who Farad Muhammad is. I go out and teach in Texas. They don't know who Farad Muhammad is out there. But you got every Muslim in the world living in Philly, so you know who Farad Muhammad is, Master Farad Muhammad. They believe he was God in the flesh. Master Farad Muhammad is the God of the Nation of Islam. Right. To this day, he is who they believe God is. And God came in the form of Farad Muhammad. They believe he actually is God or was God. If you were here today, you would know he cannot be God. If you were here today, you would know that Jesus Christ cannot be God. He is the greatest man to ever live. He is the king of the nation of Israel that we all serve today. It's for him that we wear the seal of his house. This star, this what the world calls Star of David, is actually the shield of David, the Magun Dawadah. This is the seal of his family. This is the great famous person in his house. This is his name written right here. This is the seal of Jesus Christ, the Magun Dawadah, the shield of David. We wear it for Christ. He is not God. And if you were here today, you would have the answer in front of you. Yediah. Go ahead.
You brought up, you know what I mean? The human body can't look upon the Most High.
We just went over that today. Whosoever shall see God, no, whosoever sees God shall die. What's that precept? Is in Genesis. We went over it today. Read it one more for them, all right? One more time. No one can see God and live. We went over it about 10 minutes ago. No one, you've got to learn to remember every word that someone says to cut them. It's part of your skill to cut people. You never forget what they say when you're talking to them, and when you've been to camp before and people are just mouthing off. Wabbity, they talking, they heckling, they talking. Even when you're ignoring them, keep one ear listening to everything they're saying. Now you're ignoring them, you're not even talking to them because they're trying to distract you. But just listen to every word they say. Many times you'll hear something that goes, I got it. What'd you just say? I'm sorry, what'd you just say again? Say that one more time. What do you mean by that? It's over. He's a meme. That's what he's going to be, a effing meme. Because he ran his mouth in front of someone that hears everything that they say by the grace and the power of the Most High God. Please read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 33 and verse 20. And he said, Thou cannot see my face, for there shall no man see me and live.
It's in the Bible, brothers and sisters. Is Jesus Christ God? No, can't be. Done. Because Peter and Matthew and Mark and John and all the people that saw him perform miracles, he fed 5,000 people with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. He spoke in front of masses of people. All of them lived. All of them lived. He's the one that died because he is not God. Because, one more time.
God, book of Exodus, chapter 33 and verse 20. And he said, Thou cannot see my face, for there shall no man see me and live.
Everybody gets it. So we know this is not actually talking about seeing him, because no one dropped dead when they heard him speak at his what the Christians call Sermon upon the Mount. He spoke to so many people that they stepped on each other. He spoke to thousands of people and they all went home. Right? He's the one that died. All right, and then rose again. So what does it mean when Jesus Christ said, whosoever hath seen me hath seen the Father? We know he's not God. We know he's not the Father. So what did he mean by that? I'm giving it to you for time's sake. The car, you got it.
Meaning that he was there to sacrifice for his people.
No. Whosoever hath seen me hath seen God. Come on.
The work that Christ was doing.
The work that Christ was doing. Come on, finish.
The work that Christ was doing to save our people.
That work was
The Holy Spirit.
right there. Just stay right on the topic. The work that Christ was doing, he was doing because, say it more eloquent. The work that Jesus Christ was doing was, you were on, when you said of God, you were almost right there, warrior. That was God's work. Do you understand? That work that he did wasn't of him. That wasn't his idea. That wasn't a good plan that he came up with. When you see him heal those people and perform those miracles, he did not do that of himself, but of the Father that sent him. That's what he said. He said, that's a quote from him. Everybody understands? Right? Exactly. It's when now you're reading about kindness and you're reading about forgiveness and you're reading about God's love for Israel. And then you see someone perform it right in front of you. Why do you think we did that clothing drive in Harlem? Why do you think we did that clothing drive for the immigrants? You think this was some good idea that Commanding General Yohanna came up with? You think a light bulb went off in his head? It didn't happen like that. He read it in here. He read that in here and then went out and did it. You shall see God. You're going to be someone reading the Bible, trying to find out who you are. That was me. That was all of us. Where you just, you're interested in this, interested in Islam, interested in, this preacher or that preacher, interested in this organization, that organization. And then one day you see someone do something that is clearly the evidence that God is real. That's what I saw Commanding General Yohanna do, where it wasn't reading anymore. It stopped being reading. I read it, and I said, well, I read that. I read about when he did that. I read about this. I read about how we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to do this. Then someone did it. And I went, oh, well, that man is a man of God. It was recently, I got in a battle with some Christian, right? Oh, my God. It was some Christian, right? And he of course, was against keeping the law, right? He called me on the phone, some preacher. I don't know who. One of y'all out there told some preacher, one of your grandmama's preachers to call me. I don't know why you do things like that. People do not like me, and I make a terrible impression to people because they can't stand me and I can't stand them. And that's our relationship. You got to let them talk to good. We got good brothers in this group, not terrible, mean people like me. But we got good, kind brothers that get along with people and talk to people. That's who you should send them to. Well, somebody told their preacher to call me, and it ended terribly for him, horribly. And he said he doesn't keep the law. I'm cutting him about how he doesn't keep the law. And he said, did you know that the Bible says that a woman should not come into the temple when she is on her period? Did you know that? Well, let me ask you, General. He said, General, do you keep your women out of your congregation, your place of worship, when they're on their period? I said, yes, we do. We're not like a stinking Christian church that would have women bleeding all over the chairs. I said, wait a minute. Do you think it's some hardship for a woman to just stay out of the school for a week? I said, that's because you give women no burden in church. You give them no standard to live up to. Do you think our women are sitting home like, oh my God, I can't come down to the school for a week? It doesn't kill them. They're fine with it. He was shocked, and I just began to just berate him into terribleness. But I could tell that when he thought he was going to cut me with that. He thought I would never say, we tell women to stay home on their periods. Because in his mind, no one lives the Bible. No one does it. So if I say, are you telling me that you tell a woman she can't come to the school on her period, he couldn't believe I would say yes. And that just says something about them. They think everyone is a hypocrite. They think no one would ever make the Bible come to life. No one would ever actually do the work of God. Well, we do it. And if you were around Jesus Christ, he was doing it. Whosoever seeth me hath seen the Father already, because the work that I do is not of myself, but of him. Blessed are the meek, for they shall see God. If you are sincere, if you are earnestly seeking the Lord, you're going to see him. Please believe it. We're making it our business for you to see him. I pray you understand. In the back.
If I could,
please.
Coming into the school, that was like my first Passover when I see the way brothers it's like when I see the way the brothers was getting along at the first Passover, that was like the first thing. I'm like, oh nah, like this really is like when I see us all coming together. And then when we did the Hebrew Academy, when we stood up for it, and the scripture says it's going to be a great exceeding army, I'm sitting there looking, and I'm like, nah, these brothers in here, like, we really standing up to be soldiers. Like,
forget about it.
It's really an army being raised up in this place because of what's in this book. And everything that we live, everything that we do is based off of this book. Like, I'm sitting there like, y'all don't even understand Christ. And when I tell people that, I'm like, you don't even know what I'm talking about right now because you don't live the life that I live. You don't live the life that these brothers live. You understand what I'm saying? They haven't met you. They haven't met GEN.YAHANNA. They ain't met Captain McCall. They ain't met Yedai and the other brothers and sisters. It's like, you don't even understand what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Until you live this type of life.
Give him a hand. What he's saying is true. Hey, listen, Rob, they've been looking for this their entire life. And they still can't accept that it's here. There are people that join fraternities looking for this. That's why they joined that fraternity. That's why they joined Omega Psi Phi and Alpha Phi Alpha, because they were looking for what you and I have. That's why they went to prison. There's so many young brothers that are wanting to go to jail. If you're Black and Latino, you know what I'm talking about. They want to go to prison. They want to go through the process of prison to be hard, to be thought of as a man, because they went to jail. They're looking for what you and I have found. They're looking for it. They want it. And yet they cannot believe that it is here. Everyone understands. Next. See me one more time, please. Go ahead. Say again. Veal that is sold in the stores is lawful, because veal that is sold in the store is not a lamb or a cow taken from the milk. It is unlawful to kill and eat a lamb, a goat, a cow that has never eaten grass. That's in the Bible. You better give it for him. Taken from the milk, right? Meaning a suckling animal, an animal that's suckling. A lot of Edomites in Europe eat some suckling pig. You take a pig that's a suckling pig. Pig is already unlawful. But they eat one that has never eaten food, that has only drank milk. Because, of course, the younger an animal is, the more tender it is to eat, which is why at the Passover we eat lamb. We don't eat sheep at the Passover. Sheep is known as mutton today from English. We eat sheep at the Passover, which is a lamb that is not older than a year and a half. Once a lamb gets a year and a half, it's sheep. It's a lot bigger, but it's older, it's tougher, it's more gamey, and not as delicious. All right? We eat lamb, which is something that is under a year and a half, but it is not so young that it has never eaten grass. You know that, the Water Warrior, because when we go to get them from the farms, they're walking around eating grass because they're suckled. Meaning they've been weaned already. So you have to eat an animal after it's been weaned off of milk. Do you have the precept? If you don't have it, just tell me. Let me get it for you. Hold on one second. Just stand by. I'll rock it out for you 1 second. You can get the next question on deck.
Come on, sir. Just that I wanted to break down of Philippians 4:11.
No problem. Let me just get this for you.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Is it in Exodus?
Yes, it is.
Is it Exodus 23:19?
Let me hear it.
It says, the first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk.
That's it. Thou shalt not seethe. The word seethe is like cook, right? Cook. Thou shalt not cook a kid in his mother's milk. A kid is a goat. That's where the term kid comes from. A kid is a goat, right? Or you could use it as a sheep. Mostly it's a goat, but it's a sheep. I believe a young sheep is called something else, or it could be called a kid as well. A young kid, meaning so you can eat a kid, but you can't eat a kid that's in his mother's milk. You get my point? Meaning he's suckling. You got to leave him alone until he's big enough to eat grass. So why do I say that veal is lawful? Because veal that is raised in America and sold is a cow that is young, but it has eaten grass to get up to weight. So there's a weight that the calf has to get to. It's a young cow. It's a cow at about a year or something like that. Alexa, how old is a veal in America?
Veal is a 29-year-old company, having been
So
established
Alexa,
in
stop.
19...
Alexa, when is veal slaughtered in America?
From spellchecker.net. Veal calves are typically slaughtered when they reach about 14 to 16 weeks of age, which is much younger compared to cattle raised for beef.
That's it. Alexa, stop. So it's a cow is probably killed, a year. He's like the cows that we eat in the market. They kill them quick. But this is about 16 weeks. They let them wean for about 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, they're off of the milk. Like most animals like that. Like they don't suckle long because they're raised to get off of milk and start running because they're predator based. So you have to suckle for a little while, and you stop suckling so that you can start running from wolves, right? Most deer are like that. Most prey animals suckle for a short amount of time. Everyone understands. These animals, about 16 weeks after that, they're finished with grass. They're finished, meaning they go out and eat grass, get up to weight, get big enough for them to be slaughtered. They're not in the milk. Now, let's say you had your own farm, just like Captain Yatazak. Give Captain Yatazak a hand out there in Houston. If you brothers haven't seen it, Commanding General Yahanna has a beautiful farm out in Texas, right around, it's in between Dallas, Texas, and Houston, Texas. It's right in between. And it is an amazing farm. But I don't know how many cows they got out there, but they got a ton of them. I want to say six cows and all these chickens. I think they raise 30, they get 32 eggs every day on this farm, and they got all these cows. I don't know what they're going to do when it's time to kill these cows, because I don't know a damn thing about it at all. But those brothers out there are from the country, and they know how to raise those cows. They know what they're doing. If you had a farm of your own, you cannot take a cow or a kid that is suckling and then take it and kill it. It has to be weaned from the milk first. You get it big enough, strong enough to eat grass. You eat some of that grass, now you can kill it. Everybody understands. Veal in America is like that. Now, I got to give you some, you got to be kind of careful in some cases if you go into a super fancy restaurant. Fancy restaurant that really only I can afford. A fancy restaurant where I'm sitting there by myself. Everyone understands. Because they might say milk-fed veal. So you got to, now they say milk-fed veal, they can be indicating that this has never eaten grass. You get my point? Come on.
If I could, so my time being in the culinary, you got you have some restaurants where it's from farm to the kitchen, straight from the kitchen. So you can definitely get the
milk-fed veal. Straight from there. Yeah, you got it. They damn near know the cow's name in a rich enough restaurant. They know the chicken's name. This is Charlie. So if the more expensive it gets, it could be something that they went out and killed, and they're getting it fresh, and it's been killed, and it never has eaten grass. But even milk-fed is not. There's no law that means it. That means it never ate grass. You get my point? There's no law that says you can call a thing milk fed as long as it never ate grass. Many times it's just a marketing term. And the thing has eaten grass, but they call it milk fed because they can. So it's more difficult if you have access to more different kinds of meat. But you go buy a veal parmesan from the corner store, that's beef, that's a cow. Everybody, it's just, it'll be lighter in color because it has not eaten as much grass as a cow that has lived longer on more grass. But it's a young cow. It's like a sheep. It's like we eat sheep. It's just a young cow. Everybody understands. All right, go ahead. Next. Carl, let me get one more and I'm gonna get you, all right? Is it on topic? Oh, please, go ahead.
So I'm gonna see if that is Philippians 4:11.
It's just a general breakdown for Philippians 4:11.
All right. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 11. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned, and whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content.
Oh, okay. I need 2 verses above it.
This is Philippians chapter 4, verse 9. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do. And
everybody gets that, right? Those things that you have both heard and seen in me, do. Meaning what? This is Paul that wrote this. Look up and see who wrote the book of Philippians. I believe it's Paul. If it's not Paul, whatever disciple wrote it is telling you the goddamn truth. He's an example, so you could just behave like him. That's what Commanding General Yahanna has done for all of us, which your preacher did not do. Paul, Creflo did not do. Your fake Israelite bishop did not do this. He hasn't lived his life in a way that can be simply repeated, that can be just looked at and replicated. The generals in this school have, because Commanding General Yahanna has. The captains have, because the men above them have. And he's saying this: what you say about what you see me do, do it. What you've heard that I've done, do the same thing. Everybody gets it. Go ahead, please.
One thing, you helped me understand. I remember you was like talking about drinking, right? You drinking Scott.
Of course. Most I drink.
But you was like, you see me doing it, right? You can do it. No
go.
problem. And it helped me understand because it's like, all right, y'all been holding it down since 1969. You know what I mean? Well, all right, shoot.
Well, listen, by now I think I know what I'm doing. Everybody gets it. If you don't believe it, come and see. But by now, I think I'm all right with this. All right, let's go. Everybody gets it right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. And the God of peace shall be with you.
You get that? If you do what I'm doing, the God of peace shall be with you. How do I know that? Because he's with me. Right. So you do what I do, God will be with you. Why is he called the God of peace? Because for our entire lives, we thought we were fighting our environment. We thought we were fighting our condition. Most of you think you're fighting a lack of money, don't you? You think you're fighting poverty, don't you? You think you're fighting your circumstances. You think just, trouble follows you wherever you go. You think you just have bad luck, don't you? No. Your entire life, you've been fighting God. God has been against you. And when I heard that when I was young in the truth, it just explained everything. It explained the futility of even trying to succeed, because every time I tried, something would destroy it. And then I realized why. Because God is against me. He's not on my side. You call it bad luck. You think you got bad karma. Is that what they call it now? The woke generation calls it karma, whatever the hell that is. A long time ago, they just said you had bad luck. Trouble follows you. Man, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Who put you there? God is against you. When you're going to try to do something, it's going to fail. That's it. When you have your intention on succeeding, God is against it. There's somebody named Umar Johnson. He's from Philadelphia. I know you know who Umar Johnson is, maybe. Umar Johnson, he gets mocked online so much. Captain Desaryak always tells me about him, about Umar Johnson, because he knows him. And he always tells me about him. And every time I hear about Umar Johnson, I always think, I know Umar Johnson does not understand why that school he's trying to build is impossible to build. He doesn't even know one. He's trying to build a school and trying his best to build a school for black people. The Umar Johnson School of Ufatum Kanbe Batambe, Frederick Douglass, Madam C.J. Walker, and Thurgood Marshall School. And he is trying sincerely and then trying. And he doesn't understand why it's so hard. He doesn't get it. And I've seen that my entire life. Black people trying with good intentions. These barbershops that are in our neighborhoods, some drug dealer had the intention of doing what? Of stopping selling drugs. He said, I'm not selling drugs no more. I'm opening up a beauty parlor and a barbershop. Why? To give back to my community, to help the neighborhood. Even when they started selling drugs, the intent was to take care of their children, to do something good. So many people have good intentions, but the way thereof is death and destruction. God is against your entrepreneurship. He's against it. He doesn't want your business to succeed. He doesn't want you to have a black school. He wants it to fail. That's what he wants. He wants your Black Wall Street to be burned. That's what he wants. He wants it gone. That's his will. He is not with you. You're praying and you're praying and you're praying, but he knows something about you that you can't face. He knows that you praise him, but your heart is far from him. So when you go to make a Black Wall Street, it's getting burned down. You go to make the Fatum Day School for Frederick Douglass and Madam C.J. Walker, it's getting burned. It's not happening. It's not going to happen like that. This Captain Tower Wars want to take you brothers in Philadelphia out to this place that's called, I forgot the name of it already. It's the one place in the district is called the Church of the Redeemer, and I want to say it's in the Diamond Street district. There's some district in North Philadelphia, 22nd and Diamond. Who knows what that is? Woo-wee. And you understand. 22nd and Diamond in the 1800s was a black paradise in Philadelphia. A paradise. They built churches, brother, that rivaled the churches in Europe. These churches. Why? Because it was before integration. So you had rich black people who lived in the exact same neighborhood as poor black people. And those rich black people employed those poor black people, and they all lived together. The rich guy just had the big house at the end of the block. The people who weren't rich lived in the smaller houses up the block. And it was the, I'm gonna go nuts. Let me just find the name of this place real fast. Captain Tower Ward texted me about it today. Church Advocate. Diamond Street District, that's the name of it. The Diamond Street District. And you had all of these homes, beautiful homes, and these AME churches, African Methodist churches out there, was cathedrals down there. Now the place is run down and dilapidated and gone, and the police want to build gas stations and police precincts and tear down these historical homes. The place was made an historical district in 1985. The mayor at that time, Wilson Good, pronounced this place to be an historical district and said that no one could tear down any homes in this area in the Diamond Street District, and it was held up since then, but it gets no funding, it gets no help, it gets no resources, and of course the crime down there will turn you white at 22nd and Diamond. Go ahead.
Right, so this is new news to me because when I know about Diamond Street, even growing up, it was a place that you want to know somebody in that neighborhood, trying to, like, you couldn't walk through there. If you did, you know what I'm saying?
It was rough. You should run. Yeah. There was a few sisters I was talking to down Diamond Street, young and in high school. I learned how to run real fast to get the hell out of Diamond Street. If they press on, you're going to see some broad down there in high school. Who are you? Who are you going to see? What are you doing around here? It's time to run. That was a place you couldn't. I don't know what's been going on since then, but I believe it's gotten worse because they want to tear down those historical homes and put police districts, police precincts. You get the point. It's Captain Tower Ward going to bring some of you brothers down there to go check it out, do some videoing down there. It's important. Why? Because we had something that was not the kingdom of heaven. It was not perfect, but it was better than what you have now. It was better. And we lost it. Now, it's important to understand why we lost Black Wall Street, why we lost the Diamond District, why we lost these places that everyone celebrates during Black History Month. It's important that we realize how we lost them so we could not make the same mistake again. Well, here's your mistake. God is against the Diamond District in Philadelphia. He's against it. He doesn't let it succeed. He doesn't protect it from its enemies. He's against it. The key to stopping this is to get God on your side. Now we need a peacemaker that can intervene between us and God. Jesus Christ is the Prince of Peace. Jesus Christ isn't going to bring peace to this earth. He's going to bring peace between God's children and the Father. So now God doesn't fight us anymore because we're losing that fight. And we've been losing it for thousands of years. All right. You shall see the God of peace, a God that is not destroying your businesses, a God that is not on the side of your oppressor when he destroys you, but a God that protects you. That's the God of peace. Everyone understands. Come on. Is there more?
Go
ahead.
2 more verses.
Please.
On verse 10. But I rejoice in the Lord greatly, that now at the last your care of me hath flourished again.
He thanks the Most High because they've been taking good care of him, and that care has now flourished. The word flourish is like give fruit. Now it's bountiful and it's flowering, which is where flourish comes from, the term flowering. It's beautiful now because they've taken good care of Paul, and that care has helped him to do this work. Continue.
Wherein ye were also careful.
Wherein you were also careful. What does it mean to be careful? It's an old term that has a different meaning now. To be careful in the Bible meant to be full of cares. Being full of cares means that you have your own needs. Meaning you took care of Paul when you have cares. You got things, you are full of worries, full of cares, but you still gave your substance to Paul. You still paid your tithes. You still helped him with your money while he was in prison. And now that help is going to flower. You get my point? While you were full of cares, you had your own problems. You had your own worries, but you still took care of Paul. Continue.
But ye lack opportunity.
But you lack opportunity. Opportunity for what? For you to fix those problems. You had worries. You had all kinds of issues you were dealing with. The only thing you lacked is opportunity to fix them. Keep going.
Not that I speak in.
I think your mic is out.
Not that I speak in respect of wants, for I have learned, and whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content.
Meaning, don't think that I'm saying this because I'm in need. You get my point? Meaning, he's talking about the help that people gave him. He's talking about the money that people gave him. Paul had to go to prison for Christ. He was an innocent man that simply went to jail because he served Christ. Commanding General Yohanna has been to jail for the truth. I myself have been to jail. General I.S.U.P.K has been to jail. Many of us have been to jail for the truth, not for selling drugs, not for, molesting some child like your preacher has been to jail for, but for the truth, right? For standing for the truth. That could happen. That's something that's possible to happen, right? He's not saying this because he's in want. He's not encouraging them giving to him because he's in want, because he's learned to make himself satisfied no matter what he has. That's the point. Read that last part one more time.
And whatsoever state I am.
No, read a little bit before it again.
For I have learned, and whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content.
He's learned to be content. That's a treasure. The Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. And great riches and wealth is not gain, but this is gain, to be content with whatsoever thou hast. That's great gain. That's in, I think, Timothy. All right. Contentment is really what you should look for, not to be rich. So many of you are watching that stupid internet, and you're like your grandfathers before you, searching the world to be rich. Your grandfathers were the same way. Your grandmothers were the same way. Thinking they could be rich. I need to be rich. Gambling every penny you have in Atlantic City or Las Vegas. Or now playing scratch-offs like it's crack cocaine. Trying to be rich. Trying to be rich. Somebody's always scamming you out of your damn money constantly. Ooh, you get scammed. It's so shocking to me that blacks and Latinos who are so poor are still able to be scammed at the rate you're able to be scammed. You get scammed like you're rich. You get somebody is always getting you into a real estate scam or some Ponzi scheme all the time. Why? Because you're poor and you're looking for a way to not just find a way to be satisfied with what the Most High gives you, but you're looking for a way to be super rich. You're just like Mr. Ponzi, which is a white man who really knows how to steal. Far more than you black people could ever learn how to steal, right? Don't do that, Akim. Don't seek to be rich. That's a mistake. What you want to do is find a way to be content with what the Most High gives you. Then some man named Ponzi cannot make you a fool. Then he can't hustle you because you're not trying to be Jay-Z. You're not trying. That's not your desire to have $1 billion. When I was a kid, I never even heard of the term $1 billion. That's some new. Everybody, when I was young, wanted to be a millionaire. Now you got to be a billionaire. When that young man gets old enough, they'll say, "Man, you ain't got no trillion. They'll take us some name for trillion. You need a T. You got to get a T to have money." It's silly and stupid. What you want to do, brother, is get off of drugs. That lets you, then you don't need so much money because you don't have a drug habit that's driving you into needing more money. Stop celebrating Christmas. You won't need so much money if you give up Christmas. We're about to see black people right now in the Israelite School of UPK save so much money.
Right.
Let your parents watch you save that money. Let your parents look at you, have no stress over credit card problems come January 1st. Let them watch it. Let them see it, officer.
Like if I could, I know that I work with. I know people that I work with that celebrate Christmas and they take out loans to buy out Christmas.
I heard that's a wild thing. I'll give the officer a hand. I heard they doing that. I heard they taking out a loan for Christmas gifts. For toys, that badass kid is breaking the next day. That thing is getting broken. For a video game that's going to make your child do poorly in school. You're going to buy that child that video game, his grades are dropping because of the video game. You're going to buy your daughter a video game for Christmas, and she's going to get naked on that video game. She's going to be playing the game and getting naked on the game. Am I telling you something you've never heard of? Raise your hand if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Then I can move on. Oh, brother, give him a hand. See them gray hairs? That's the hoary head up. Honor that gray. Give him a hand. I wish I didn't know. I learned about these things in councils, and it blows my mind. Sister, you want to say something? You don't know either. Give her a hand. Thank the Lord. There's hope. Yediah, break it down. Yediah, no. Give him the mic if he needs it. Yediah, break it down for everyone.
If I may, sir, Muhammad was saying so heavy, you're going to have some sisters get on that TikTok on that video game and do something called an NPC challenge for money, where they're going to be taking requests in the TikTok chat and then the other chat, that OnlyFans. This is going to be alone.
Tell me about this one, Yediah. It's some video game where they play. Is it the Call of Duty where you can? What's the game where you can see the other players? Call of Duty. And Grand Theft Auto. And then, but a girl gets on there and just shows her breasts. That's what's happening, sister. Meaning, there's video games out there where everybody playing can see each other. You get my point or no?
Oh, that's a Twitch streamer. So you'll have.
But you're playing. You're on there with this controller. you're playing, all of you are playing the same game.
You don't necessarily got to be playing the same game. You can be watching someone that is in their room and they can just, you know what I mean, appear on their screen and splash people and do whatever.
Yeah, they just, the girls, young 13-year-old girls just show their breasts to everybody on the thing playing the game and perform sex acts and insert things in their vaginas. While everyone is playing the game, they're supposed to be playing the game, but they're not. They're on there to get attention from the men or the boys that are playing the games. And that is what a ton of girls are doing. A ton of them. That's what's happening. And guess what? That is your Christmas gift. That game. That's your Christmas gift. You're going to buy her the game. You're going to say, well, I'm getting her a game. She really wants one. This is what she's using to perform pornography for strangers. You might want to save your money. You save your cash, all right? Save your money. That's the gift. The gift is to be able to do without. That's game. Well, you don't need all this money for those high strands of weed that you need, because weed stops working after a while. Drug addicts know what I'm talking about. Weed, after you smoke so much of it, you need a different strain or you need more, which is why Snoop Dogg worships marijuana, because he needs so much of it because he cannot get high anymore. So now he needs more and more and more and more and more and more and more strains because he builds up a resistance. So before you know it, you have someone that has to smoke weed from the minute they wake up until the minute they go to sleep because they don't get high anymore. They need more of it, sister.
I was actually speaking to somebody at work before, and she was telling me, I was like, what is it? Like, what is it? Weed? She said, I said, it's addictive, right? She said, yeah, it's addictive. I'm like, what is it? It's not weed. She said, the pulling is addictive. It's not even.
Great. Now you on to something.
It's not even.
Because I have found that in my work. I found that in my work that in the therapy world, they call that a process addiction. There are a few kinds of process addictions. Video games can be an absolute process addiction where it's not an addiction chemical like marijuana or alcohol, but it's this. You understand? Like that feeling or the seeing the things pop up on the screen where you need to do the process. And part of marijuana addiction is the fire. You understand? The lighting it, the smoking, the pulling, seeing the smoke, seeing the hookah thing to go up in the air. You are addicted to the process of doing it. And that's another addiction that therapists are studying right now. It's part of so many different things where you're addicted to simply smoke in the room. You need that smoke. You need the flicker of a flame. You need the pull. You need the mouth fetish of having something on your mouth. Part of in Narcotics Anonymous, they encourage cigarette smoking to get you off of the weed smoking and the pipe smoking. So they encourage you to satisfy your mouth fetish with toothpicks and chew sticks. They still do that today? Oh, chew stick. You need something to be hanging on your lip, something to satisfy the process. So what you're saying is absolutely true. Those things cost money because evil people know that they've made you an addict. And they're going to cost money and cost more money and more money and more money. If you beat your addiction, you're going to have more money. You understand? If you stop celebrating Christmas, you're going to have more money. You want money, don't you? I'm telling you how to get some. Get the money. Stop smoking weed and get money. Stop celebrating Christmas and get money. I pray you understand. In the back.
Real quick, I remember the first time hearing somebody say, I'm only high while I'm smoking. It blew my mind.
That's a rough one.
They said, I'm not high no more. Like, I have to be smoking it to still be high.
Yeah.
As soon as they put it down, they don't feel high.
They're not high. It's the weed out. They've built up a resistance to it. It doesn't work. They need stronger and stronger genes, stronger and stronger. What's the word for it? Strains of it, and then that's going to stop. It's like when you start smoking cigarettes. You start off with 1 or 2 cigarettes a day. Then you go to 5. Then you go to 10. After how long are you doing a pack? You get my point? It stops working 1 cigarette. 1 cigarette after you have sex, or 1 cigarette in the morning. That's not going to work for a while. You're going to need a pack. You're going to be buying a carton of cigarettes in that gas station. It's going to happen. Or you could save your money and get off of cigarettes. Come on.
If I could, I remember I was in high school. Remember being in high school, I wound up failing in class. And I found my mom, she's probably watching, I found one of my mom's cigarettes. And I wound up.
Forgive him, mama. Forgive him. He's a changed man. Go ahead.
I smoked a cigarette for the first time. I remember that feeling it gave me. I was like, whoa, this is why they smoke these. And I never got that feeling ever again. I was chasing it for years.
I've counseled so many crack addicts back in the day under Commander General Yohanna, brother. And crack cocaine was a lot about the first hit and then just trying to get it again, just trying. And they would sell their children to just try to get it again. Or you could get money. You understand? You could get money, real money, and quit. All right, next question.
Malachi, sir, I got a question from Officer Malachi.
Please.
He said, how to deal with a rib that doesn't want to submit because you don't have enough money?
How to deal with her? I deal with her by getting more women. That's what I would do, but that's me. Don't, whatever you want, I ain't trying to, just deal with her. What are you gonna do? Let me tell you, a lot of a woman-ock is in the choosing. A lot of your problems are done because you choose wrong, right? Choosing, if you choose a woman because of her beauty, you're choosing the woman wrong. That's not why. A beauty in a woman and women in the U.P.K. are the most beautiful women on the planet. Give them a hand. There are no women that look better than sisters in the U.P.K. And I ain't talking about their spirit. I'm talking about that tail. Excuse me. General Yohanna, he's somewhere listening. I'm talking about that tail and their face and their breast and the body. Sisters in the U.P.K. is hiding something wonderful up under that long dress. Do you hear what I'm saying? That's what's happening in here. They're physically beautiful, right? But that is not what is the most beautiful thing about them, because they know that brothers in the school don't choose a woman for what she looks like unless they're silly brothers. You understand? What beautifies a woman is not that. If you've chosen a woman, because, she had a big butt, you're going to have a woman with a poor character. And a woman's character is why you want to marry her. Please.
I have a precept, sir.
Please.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 25 and verse 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure.
That's what's in the Bible. So if you got her because sisters don't know this, let me explain it to you. A woman that has sex with a man very quickly will get a man because she had sex with you very fast. So you'll get a man quickly because you gave it up immediately. You get the point. But he will never respect you as a real woman because he knows you gave it up quickly. He understands that. So then after you have sex, then he starts to see your personality, and your personality is terrible. So many women have horrible personalities. They don't even work on them. They don't care about their personality. They don't even think their personality matters because so many men teach them that their personality doesn't matter. So you've chosen a terrible woman to marry, right? So after you marry her, then you realize that she thought you were rich. She only wanted you for money. Why did she think that? Who can blow my mind? Because you took a picture on Instagram with you leaning on a Ferrari. Do you understand? So you fished a woman who was a terrible woman. You wanted that. If you put a picture on Instagram of you leaning on a rented Ferrari or a Ferrari that you just saw and leaned on it, then you are going to get the kind of woman that wants that kind of man. Do not act like you're rich and you're some boss to a woman. Don't do that, because you are going to get the kind of woman that wants a man with money. And of course, you don't care because all you wanted was sex. But you're going to get a wife even though you only wanted sex. You're going to get a baby's mama even though you only wanted sex. That is what is going to happen. You just wanted to have sex with her. So you went out and got a ton of money or fake money, took a picture with a whole, wad of money, or you leaned on a Ferrari and put a picture on Instagram of you leaning on a Ferrari, or you acted in a way like you had money, like you were rich. Mainly going to rent those stupid cars. You can go right down to Hertz and rent a Porsche. You go rent a Porsche, you take 1 million Instagram pictures, you put them on Instagram, and then watch the women come rolling in. No sweat out, here they come. You're looking for sex. You're getting the mother of your child. That is what is going to happen. Do you understand? Then once she's the mother of your child, now you're looking at her character now, aren't you? Now you're like, she only wants me for money. She's not a good person. No, yeah, I know. She's a terrible person. She thought you were a terrible person. Come to find out, you're a righteous man who just was stupid. Now this is your baby's mother. Now you're with her. Now I gotta hear you. She gotta call me all effing night. Right? She didn't want any of this. She didn't want to be married to an Israelite in the U.P.K. She didn't want to be with a man who had more than one wife. She didn't want any of this. She wanted that nigga leaning on that Ferrari. That's what she wanted. Now she's got you, and you are not who she wanted to be with. Congratulations, you're married. That's your wife. So what do you do with her? Maintain your integrity. That's all you can do. Maintain your integrity. Just make sure that she knows who you are. Do what you should have did when you married her. Show her who you are. Show her everything about yourself. I believe in this. I believe in that. I don't believe in this. I believe in having more than one wife. Say it. So many of you dumbass, your brothers out there, you tell the woman, well, I don't want another wife. You're lying. You're lying. Even the question itself is stupid. Ask me what I want to eat for dinner tomorrow. I don't know. Whatever I feel like eating tomorrow. Do I want another wife? I don't know, but I'm going to eat tomorrow. Do you understand? Even if you don't want a wife right now, you're going to want one. Why not just tell the woman, yeah, I'm getting another wife. It's a guarantee. If you marry me, it is a guarantee you're sharing me. There is no way around it. I'm going to have babies outside of the house. I'm going to have other women. I'm going to spend part of the week with you. Your mama is going to see me in a restaurant with somebody else. It's happening. You don't have to be with me, of course. It's a free country. You can be with whoever you want to be with. But this is who I am. This is what I want. Oh, me? Oh, am I working overtime? Am I getting 3 jobs? No. I'm going to New York to do the clothing drive. You're going to work overtime and hand me the money. That's what you're doing. Because you're not going. So since you're not going, you go, you use that college degree that you have, all of them big degrees black women have, use them and pay all the bills in this house. I'm going to Texas. I'm going to California. I'll be in the UK helping him out there. You're going to go to work, use that big muckety-muck ed degree. You have to throw in everybody's face because you've been to college. Get that money, pay all these bills. When I get back from Europe, I'll give you a call. I'll come see the kids, and I will tie fire to that tail when I get back home. Now, some women will say, well, that's not for me. I want a different type of man. That's fine. Oh, but some women will say, "Kun out of one kun." Some will say, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Where do I sign up? Now you got a woman who's not, who doesn't think she shouldn't obey you because you don't have money, because that's a dumb broad. Who you gonna marry then? Huh? Who you gonna marry? A rich man? Let me tell you something about rich men. They lose their money. Have you ever heard of that before? Because a man is rich when you marry him, it doesn't mean he stays rich forever. Have you heard of hip hop music? rap music, they have money today. And then they go bankrupt and they're out Uber driving in a year. You understand? Because a man is rich when you marry him, it doesn't mean he stays rich forever. What's the other side of that, sisters? Let a sister answer the question. Let's say if you marry Michael Jackson. Alexa, how much debt did Michael Jackson have when he died?
Michael Jackson died in 2009 at the age of 50 with approximately $500 million in debt.
Alexa, how much money did Michael Jackson have when he died?
Michael Jackson had an estimated net worth of $500 million.
Stop, Alexa. Do you understand what that means? He had $0. Zero. Now, if you meet Michael Jackson, I'm sure you'll drop to your knees and perform oral sex on him. He's not going to want it. Ask me about that later. Michael Jackson didn't like girls. Right? But you would think, I'm going to marry Michael Jackson, I'll be rich forever. If you marry Michael Jackson, in a few years, he'll have $0. Nothing. If you marry, give me somebody that's rich, R. Kelly, nothing. If you marry, you pick them. You pick the person. They're going to be rich for a second. Then they're going broke and they're driving Uber. They had a 50 years of hip hop. I saw one of my wives taped. I went back and looked up so many people on that stage who were Uber driving a few years ago. EMT drivers. Doing common jobs. And this 50 years of hip hop thing is getting them off of the work line because they have nothing. And I guess they're thanking the Most High for this 50 years of hip hop because they were EMT drivers, worked at an office, worked at Home Depot, and they were hip hop pioneers. Marrying a man that has money now does not mean he will have money for the rest of his life. Now, give me the flip side, sisters. Who can answer the question? Online or in the room? I got to wrap it up. Anyone? If you don't know in the room, I'll ask someone online. What's the flip side of what I just said? I'll give it to you for time's sake. If you marry a brother with no money right now, sister?
I mean, for me, if I marry someone like with the anybody can be here for money, you don't have money, that you have to really take care of it. So marrying somebody without money and staying with them and building with them, that makes you more considerate. They make things there, keep your career for the world.
Give her a hand because she's telling the truth. You know, that wasn't quite what I was talking about, but you're telling the truth. The point I was trying to make is that because a brother doesn't have money now, it doesn't mean he won't have money later. Marrying a man who's rich now doesn't mean he will have money forever. That's foolish because people lose money as fast as they get it, especially when they have a drug habit, right? Especially when they celebrate Christmas. They're more than likely to lose their money even quicker. Come on, Nicole.
If I could, sir, because we do our homework so much, we actually see a bunch of women on TikTok complaining about not having a man. They're at that age of they late 30s, 40s, 50s. They're like, listen, I'll pay for everything. Just give me a man that is going to take care of me.
That's straight out the Bible. That's out of Isaiah, the 4th chapter. Correct. Go ahead.
If I could, real quick, two things. Somebody said he'll be, Kyle Walter said he'll be rich in the kingdom. And I watched this interview, it was an hour long with his sister, and she was like in her 40s, and she was like dating in her 40s versus dating, she was younger over there. And she said after a while, she must be like, I guess an NBA player, somebody with that type of money. And she said at a point in her life, she only could date this type of man. Now, mind you, she's not staying with these men, she's single now. You understand what I'm saying? So for years, she only dated them type of men, and then when she got older, she don't even care about them.
Yeah, she's what I like to call a first date expert. That's a big thing online right now. Where do you go out on a first date? That woman like that is a first date expert because all she's ever going to get is first dates. Let me tell you something. Listen carefully. You're online now talking about you won't go to the Cheesecake Factory. You won't go to Olive Garden. Where else won't they go? You won't go to, what's the place women won't go to?
Applebee's.
You won't go to Applebee's. Let me tell you the truth of you. You're going to go on first dates to restaurants that do not exist yet. You're going there. You're going there. You've been on first date. Some of you went on a first date to restaurants that don't exist anymore. But you went to that first date. There was some man that took you to this restaurant. That restaurant is shut down now. You're going to go on first dates to futuristic, artificial intelligence restaurants. Restaurants that don't even exist. You're going on a first date there because you will only and always get first dates because you're always going to be in need of a new man forever. You're going to be 50 years old one day going on a first date to a restaurant that did not exist when you had your last man. It wasn't even around. It didn't even exist. Futuristic places. You're going to that restaurant. You're going to do that event because you will always be perpetually single. And perpetually single means perpetually looking for a man. So don't worry. You shouldn't even really have a list of places that you won't go to because you're going to places that don't exist yet. You're going to those places. You'll see. You'll see. Me and my sisters, though, and my ribs, you know, the places they went on their first dates to, they're closed. They're not around anymore. They closed 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Those places are gone. You understand? Ain't no going to that restaurant. I took my ribs. I got 4 ribs. Everybody knows that, right? The places I took them to, been closed 10 years, 15 years. They've been closed down. I drive by them. I go, I remember I took that broad to that thing right over there. It's a Walmart now. It's gone. The place is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. You're going to a restaurant that doesn't exist yet, but it will, and you're going to have some new victim, and he'll take you there. All right, go ahead.
If I could, sir, one of those restaurants in Philly called Hula Hands, something like that.
Yeah, that's the one. Give him Hula Hands. Everybody went there. Everybody went to Hula Hands. I know what you're talking about. That was the first date spot back in the day. Hula Hands is gone now. Hula Hands is not there. Don't worry. You hoes out there, you're going to go to new places. New places that don't exist yet. Everybody understands. Am I good here? Any questions online? I got to wrap it. About 5 minutes. We good here? Nothing else but that? Who's taking the class? Thamayam, correct? Pass the class over to police officer Thamayam.
Follow up, hurry up. Right.
You come up to like, and it's you after that, right? Where's the car? The car is you? Oh, Barzell, you come up, Barzell. We gonna call up the sister Odessa real quick. Wrap it up. Oh yeah, I got you on the camera, right? You come on up, sister. Come on up to the podium. All right. Sister gonna get a name. Sign Christ. Like I mean to interrupt you, I.S.U.P.K. You hit the sister, Officer Moyle, if I may. And right, wrap it up one more time, man. For all the brothers and sisters in the school. So if y'all don't know, right? This is my rib right here. You know what I mean? That's the little man, her son. He's a strong, mighty Benjamite. Okay. This sister right here, man, she you know, she been through a whole ton. It's like all the brothers and sisters in the school. You know what I mean? Go fighting the family and all that, fighting the world, friends angry at her, you know, they don't like the school, whatever. But she's still standing strong. You know what I mean, helping with the cookouts and you know, everything that we had to do, the food giveaways, and you know what I mean? She's an excellent sister, man. This sister, through all her, everything that they was trying to come against her with, you know what I mean? All the fights and everything that they was trying to pull her into, all the drama, the whole baddies lifestyle that, you know, want to be, baddies lifestyle that sisters want to live and want to be. She put all that to the side, man. She dealt with all that. She was long suffering with everything that she, you know, that she had to deal with since I met her. You know what I mean? Even dealing with her son. You know what I mean? The little man, he got autism. She raised him by herself, you know, never missing appointments, all that stuff, man. Like this sister right here, this sister has a lot of patience, man. Like she is very long suffering. She's compassionate. So her name will no longer be whatever it was in the world, but from now on, her name is gonna be Awaraka. All right, which means patience. A lot of patience. I mean, you can write that on the wall for me, I.S.U.P.K, on the car. Anybody that knows the Hebrew. All right. If I could, we got the anointing first. All right. So how you spell it? I.A.W.A.R.A.K.A.H. All right. Like I said, man, this sister, like the demons was trying to get her. They was trying. They was upset with her for changing her lifestyle and getting away from that want to be, you know, baddie lifestyle, that want to be, you know, whatever sisters want to be in the world. I ain't in the world, man. But whatever they inspiring to be out there, she got away from it, all right? And you can put under there patience. That's what her name means. We're going to raise the sister up, all right? So y'all can repeat after me. Just a minute up here. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Wayashamaraka.
Wayashamaraka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Panyaw.
Panyaw.
Al-Yaka.
Al-Yaka.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yeshar Yahweh.
Yeshar Yahweh.
Panyaw.
Panyaw.
Al-Yaka.
Al-Yaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Rak. Rapah. Magun. Hagun. You gonna say your name, sis? Is Awaraka. Awaraka. Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Ba'ashim Yahushua.
What we just said was Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh in the name of Yahweh shall bless, heal, shield, protect. All right.
Spirit and after the I.S.U.P.K, 1West Isupk, new brothers they all been 6 months. They're be student only. They're here to share themselves in the world. They need habitation to arrange it. 6 months, the brother or sister has to determine who they express. He or she must take another 6 months, the brother is recording them. After the 6 month period, the brother will get ready to get married. Megan, trying to see the numbers. 21, on the back, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, I.S.U.P.K, 10% of every increase will be we will offer our mandatory life. Congregations next slide.
You got look at 8 days. I believe is Christmas. We got look at 8 days.
It's Friday.
So that's next Thursday.
All right, the next, this upcoming holy convocation is, Thursday. Like I'll probably check the books for the hallway, if anyone wants to get school stuff wearing all black. Shirt, pants, headband, and scarf, with that being said, if my understand. And if Israel, we're gonna get one person, Luke, and if Israel, the mom, bye. Bye. Rob.
How about Shimmy Shop, brother?
Hands down, start, trying to get the sisters to stand. And Israel, we're gonna get the sisters, one person, Luke, and if Israel, the mom, bye. Bye. Rob.
How much more about Shimmy Shop?
Yes, the time class is.